Gentlemen, a very good morning to both of you. Let's start with you, Mr. Mulaudzi. The province has had heavy downpours over the last few days. What's the situation in Johannesburg?
Morning, our Stacey and the viewers out there. Yeah, in the city of Johannesburg, we didn't have major incidents which were reported throughout the weekend. We have been monitoring most of our low-lying areas, since we know that, especially our informal settlements, since we know that when we have wet weather conditions like the ones we're having now throughout the Easter weekend, those residents will be the mostly vulnerable communities who are affected. So far, so good. We don't have any major incidents which have been reported throughout the city of Johannesburg.
Charles, what's the situation like in Tshwane?
SABC. Let me start by saying that our thoughts and hearts and prayers are with the affected in the province of KwaZulu-Natal and those that are less fortunate than us. Currently, as things stands in Tshwane, we are in a similar situation like the city of Johannesburg and other municipalities within the province, where we have seen downpours, but with minimal incidents reported. Around Tshwane, only one informal settlement in the Tshwane area reported flooding of a few shacks, but that did not warrant alternative accommodation nor any much negative effect to the dwellers of those settlements. And in the Centurion area, which is an area with low-lying water bridges, we had around Saturday have to close a number of roads there that are known to be known hotspots while the water had gone up. But so far, the water has subsided in those areas, in as much as we are monitoring that because we are in the encroachment area. If you have water coming down the Jackskay and the Oliphant Spruit, even if it's not raining, we might experience a rise in water levels in those areas. So we are consistently monitoring them, and we have had a sinkhole develop in the Nelmapias Road near the John Foster area in the Centurion area late last night, but the city departments have been activated to look into that. That is the situation around Tshwane as things stand so far, Israel.
So, Robert, just in terms of predictions, we had a colleague earlier who was watching a flood watch in Alexandra. What sort of predictions are we working with?
Yeah, we at this stage we actually monitoring most of our low-lying areas since we are told that we might still get some rain towards Tuesday. So far we have activated our disaster management monitoring teams in those areas. So we're happy that it looks like our community-based disaster preparedness initiatives are bearing some fruits now, because we have seen a lesser number of incidents of drowning or any other incidents which are related to the severe thunderstorms which we're having. So from our side, we have got those teams on high alert in most of those areas. We're hoping that we are not going to have any other problems, since we can see much more clearer skies in most parts of the city of Johannesburg as we speak now. So we, from our side, we just also want to continue to encourage our residents out there to monitor young kids to stay away from these river streams, because now the water levels are much more higher. Young kids might be tempted to play next to these areas, and also our church communities, because when the water levels are much more higher like this, they are tempted to conduct some baptism activities. So we urging them to exercise some caution as and when they conduct baptism activities in this area, so that we can be able to prevent incidents where they might be swept away while they're trying to conduct these baptism activities.
Charles, we know that the primary concern is saving lives, but how's Tshwane looking in terms of infrastructure damage?
Yeah, like I said earlier, we haven't had infrastructure damages other than the sinkhole which I have mentioned so far. It is fairly okay. I think, like Robert correctly said, continuous speaking and continuous education is starting to bear fruits with residents as they show that they know what to do by now in areas where we are experiencing flooding. And in particular, I think the Easter weekend did help because there has been minimal movement within the province, which by now we are monitoring in terms of those coming back to the province to say that now they also need to exercise extreme caution, as some roads might still be slippery, and with the difficult traveling conditions, they should exercise patience to reach their destination. But yeah, in terms of infrastructure damage, we are not seeing any infrastructure damage other than the one I have mentioned to you, Dessa.
Yeah, different fortunes for different provinces. Robert, Charles mentions an important aspect, people coming back from holidays. What's the forecast here for Joburg?
Yeah, we of course as Desiree, we are expecting a high number of large volume of motorists who will be coming to city of Johannesburg from their various holiday destinations. We continuing to encourage them to keep to the prescribed speed limit, and also continue to extend that safe following distance, and also try and avoid areas which might have been flooded during this Easter weekend. And of course, from our side, as public safety in the city of Johannesburg, we will remain on high alert to make sure that we can be able to respond to all the incidents which might occur throughout the city of Johannesburg.
All right, we seem to have lost Charles. We'll try to bring him back on. But Robert, I just want to ask you, just in terms of inter-provincial or inter-city, if you like, assistance, what kind of conversations are you having with KwaZulu-Natal about assistance in terms of skills, in terms of whatever it is whatever support you can give in this stricken province?
Yeah, I think in Gauteng we've got COCTA, which is the department which actually oversee us as Gauteng Fire Services. So we've got specialized teams which normally responds to disasters like the ones we're seeing now in KZN. I wouldn't be able to give you the exact date and time where we might have a team which might be going to the KZN, but I'm hoping that those who are responsible to take those decisions are monitoring the situations and are maybe behind the scenes that discussing to see how we can be able to assist. But with us in the fire service, it's a continuous. We always now and then communicate in terms of assisting each other when we have incidences like this one. So we're hoping that that partnership, working together, will continue as we have disasters in our communities in KZN.
Charles, I'm told you've just rejoined us. Just in terms of partnerships with either the city, eThekwini, or the province, in terms of expertise or however else you might be able to help, are you talking to KZN in this regard? All right, we seem to have lost Charles once again, and we'll endeavor to try bring him back in. Robert, just in terms of messages to residents of the city of Joburg, even though not much in the way of damage has happened, but it has been raining incessantly the whole weekend. Just what kind of messages are you sending out to the residents of Joburg?
I think the message is not only to the city of Johannesburg, but I think residents all over South Africa, because we've had a very difficult week, especially in KZN. So we continue to encourage our residents out there to be cautious, try and stay away from crossing river streams. Those who are driving, to try and make sure that they don't take a chance to cross flooded roads and flooded bridges. And of course, I think we also need to, urge our colleagues in KZN and those who are responding to the incidents there, our rescuers there, to say that our thoughts and gratitudes are with them. As we continue to make sure that the residents of KZN receive the assistance, we're hoping that God will give them enough wisdom and strength to deal with these kind of situations, because in our line of work, this is most of some of the situations which we respond to, or disasters which responds to now and then in outside of the country. So we're hoping that those skills which they've gained while they're responding to emergencies outside the country will come in handy to deal with the situations we find ourselves in as a country.
Now, let me ask you, there are people who are out there able to assist as individuals. What sort of assistance are you seeking from the community?
Now, for us as a, I think the disaster management colleagues in the KZN area or emergency services in the area have actually communicated in terms of what is it that there's various organizations which are assisting, like Gift of the Givers and any other organizations which are contributing in terms of assisting the residents there. So my encouragement, or our encouragement, will be that let's continue to rally behind, the colleagues who are responding to the incident, and also make sure that we support the residents with whatever support we can be able to give to those organizations which are assisting to assist our affected families in the KZN area.
Robert, thank you so much for making the time to speak to us. Robert Mulaudzi is the Joburg Emergency Management Services spokesperson. Of course, a company there who we lost him, but Charles Mabaso with the emergency services for Tshwane.